You will disgrace our family, the Sheikh's friends laughed. But when his simple employee appeared at the ball, the laughter died down. Her entrance marked the beginning of the end for their world.1 multi-billion-dollar sheikh invites his assistant to the most exclusive event of the year. His friends laugh. For real? Are you going to take your secretary? Imagine, when she comes in a dress from the market, she will look ridiculous. He accepts a bet, takes it only to humiliate it, to prove to it that it does not belong. This world. But when she enters the hall, everyone is silent, the smiles are gone, and what happened that night changed everything. If you want to know how an ordinary employee challenged the entire Arab high society, if you want to open up to the exact moment when the sheikh realized that he had made the worst mistake of his life. If you want to see how the night can completely change fate, then subscribe right now, because this story is not what you expect. This is not a cheap fairy tale, it is much better. Start. Laughter reverberated throughout the private hall of the Royal Club in Dubai, where the golden marble walls reflected the opulence of those who visited it. The aroma of oud and Arabic coffee mixed with the sound of conversations in several languages. All of them were pronounced with an accent from those born in the golden cradle. Karim al-Rashid almost spat out his crumpled tea as he laughed. His friends exploded around him. His eyes were the color of desert sand at sunset, shining with a mixture of amusement and distrust. Are you seriously going to take your secretary to the royal ball? Asked Fadl Mansour, wiping away his tears. Laughter. Brother, what will your father Sultan say when he sees your clerk coming from the market in a dress? Fists under the table. The laughter of his 5 friends surrounded him like jackals attacking prey. The echo of ridicule bounced off the walls. The most exclusive club in the Emirates. This is not my secretary, this is my executive assistant, he replied. Karim, trying to remain calm and knowing better than anyone how such diplomatic events work. Executive assistant fat. Wiped away some more tears, MOT, as they call it now. Imagine, when she comes to the royal ball of the palace, all the important sheikhs and ambassadors will be there. What will they think? When will they see the heir Al-Rashid holdings with a working and intelligent woman? Karim interrupted. His voice is firmer. Silence fell. The 5 men sitting around the table looked at him as if he had lost his mind. All of them were dressed in immaculate white dashes with watches that cost more than a luxury car. Faf leaned forward. His tone is now more serious. Karim, listen to me carefully. We have been brothers since childhood. True, your family has a name that needs to be cherished. The royal ball is not just a party. There will be Al Maktoum, Al Nahyan, all the royal and business Gulf family. And you'll come with your employee. And what's wrong with that? Karim stood up. His chair creaked on the polished marble floor. You don't even know her. We don't need to know her, said Tariq al-Qasimi, another friend of his, adjusting his gold panks with encrusted diamonds. We know where it comes from. I'm willing to bet that she lives in some humble area of Sharjah, supports her entire family and I've never been to such an event. Karim felt anger rise up his throat. Every word was slapped in the face. Only for him, but also for Samir, a woman who showed more class and elegance every day than any of these men. You know what? You are right, he said at last. His voice is full of sarcasm. I will invite Samira Hassan to the royal point. And when you see it, you will swallow all your words. The laughter exploded again. Fath clapped slowly, as if it was a very funny joke. It's cool. I can't wait to see it. But when your father disinherits you, don't come to me to cry. Karim left the club without saying goodbye. The sound of their laughter followed him to the parking lot, where his black Mercedes G-Class was waiting for him. The boy handed him the keys, but he barely noticed it. His mind was elsewhere, in an office on the 40th floor, where a woman with pitch black hair With her hair and intelligent eyes, she managed his schedule better than he himself. 2 hours later, Kareem returned to the offices of Al-Rashid Holdings in the heart of Dubai. Towers of glass and steel rose to the sky like monuments to business success. For today, everything seemed cold and impersonal to him. Samira was at her desk, located just outside Kareem's main office. She spoke on the phone in Mandarin, quickly doing notes, solving some problem with Chinese investors in a new hotel and residential complex in Abu Dhabi. Her professionalism was evident in every gesture, in every measured word. "I believe in you," she said before how to hang up. She then looked up at Kareem with a polite smile. "Good afternoon, Emir Kareem. Chinese investors in the Corniche project are already satisfied with the changes in the contract. I have confirmed your meeting with Japanese diplomats tomorrow and postponed the budget meeting to Friday." Kareem watched her with renewed attention. Samira was wearing a three-piece suit in the series, which, although clearly not from a luxury designer, was a perfect fit for her. Horror. The silk navy blue hijab was elegantly styled, and the makeup was subtle but flawless. She spoke 5 languages, managed millions of clients and solved crises as if it were the most natural in the world. "Samira, I need to talk to you," Kareem said, gesturing to his office. She picked up her tablet and followed it. Office. Karima had windows overlooking the whole of Dubai, Burj Khalifa, the Palm Islands, the Persian Gulf shining under the sun. It was a constant reminder of the empire he would one day inherit. "Something happened to some client?" Samira asked, sitting in front of his table. "No, it's not work." Suddenly nervous. "It's about the royal ball on Friday at the palace." Samiru's eyes shone slightly. She worked for weeks, organizing every detail of the most important event of the year for the company and the family's diplomatic relations. "Is there any problem with the list of invitees or with the menu? Should I call the palace chief right now?" "No, Samira, everything is perfect, as always." Kareem paused. "I wanted to ask if you would like to accompany me to the ball." Silence filled the office. Samira blinked several times as if she didn't get it right. "Excuse me, how is your companion?" "For a point." Kareem leaned forward. "You know all the important invitees. You know how to handle any diplomatic situation that can originate. You'd be the perfect company." Samira was silent for a long time. Her hands were nervously playing with the tablet. "Emir Kareem, I am grateful for the invitation, but I think it is inappropriate." "I'm your employee, and you're much more than that," interrupted Kareem. "You're the most capable person I know. In addition, the company will cover all expenses, dress, salon, beauty, everything you need." "It's not about money," Samira said softly. "Well, not only that. I just don't belong this world. The rest of the invitees will notice it right away." "Will they notice what?" "That I am not like them." Samira looked down. "I live in Sharjah. I support my mother and my brother. I work because I need money, not because my family gave me the empire in my hands." Her words were like a slap in the face to Kareem, not out of anger, but out of confession. Samira has just described exactly the difference between the two of them, between their worlds. "Please think about it," Kareem said. Finally. "Just think." Samira nodded slowly and got up to leave, but when she reached the door, she stopped. "I can ask you something, Mir Kareem, of course." "Why me? Surely you know many women who would be delighted to accompany you." Kareem looked into her eyes. For a moment, he wondered if he should tell her the truth, that his friends had mocked what he wanted. To prove them wrong, that she was worth more than all the heirs he knew. But there is something in her expression stopped him. "Because I trust you," he said simply. Samira smiled. The first sincere smile in this conversation. "Let me think about it tonight."
I'll give it. Your answer is tomorrow.
When Samira left the office, Kareem was left alone with his thoughts. He took a folder from his desk to check some contracts, but something fell to the floor.
He bent down to pick it up and saw that it was a diploma. American University of Sharjah. Bachelor's degree in business management with a specialization in international relations. Samir Hassan. Al-Masrui. Amount of cum laude.
Kareem remained staring at the document, completely amazed.
Samira never mentioned
that she has a university education, especially with the highest honors of one of the most prestigious universities in the Emirates.
He came out of
his office and found her, gathering her things at her desk.
Samira, can we talk again? She looked at the diploma in his hands and took a deep breath. Ah, it fell to me this morning. Why didn't you ever tell me that you had a bachelor's degree in business management with a specialization in international relations?
Samira sat down again, but this time her posture was different, more direct, more confident, because I've learned that bosses don't like having employees who can do their
intellectually intimidate. They prefer to think that we are just working hands, not thinking minds.
This is. Kareem searched for words.
It's terrible.
This is reality, Samira said with a sad smile. When I came here for 2 years back, I mentioned my diploma in the interview. The HR manager told me that I was retrained for this position. Therefore, at my next interview, I spoke only about my experience as an assistant.
Kareem felt something strange in the chest.
A mixture of admiration and shame.
Admiration for Samira's intellect and pragmatism. Shame for the system,
which forced her to hide her achievements.
You know what, he said at last. I accept your answer to Alu tomorrow, but I want you to know that you never need to hide someone in fact again. Samira looked at
him with an expression he couldn't decipher.
Okay, peace, Kareem. Good night.
When she left, Kareem stayed in his office late into the night, staring at his diploma and thinking about everything he thought he knew about a woman who worked a few meters away from him every day.
The next day, Kareem.
I came to the office early with a strange feeling in my stomach.
He couldn't stop thinking about yesterday's conversation, about Samira's diploma. About everything he didn't know about her.
Samira was already at her desk, as always.
But today Kareem looked at her differently. He
saw her manage a call with French diplomats, negotiating in perfect French
language. He'd seen her tackle the logistics problem of the Palm Jumeirah project with a strategy he hadn't considered.
Good afternoon, Amir Kareem, she said as she saw him passing by.
I confirmed your lunch with the Japanese delegation. I also talked to the head of the palace about the menu for the ball. He suggested change the main dessert to something more traditional Arabic to impress foreign guests.
What did you suggest? Kareem asked, stopping in front of her desk. Well, Samira hesitated for a moment.
I thought that implore with
pistachio and saffron can be elegant, but with an Emirati identity, something that foreign visitors will remember.
Kareem smiled.
This was exactly the type of detail that distinguished a good holiday from an exceptional one.
Great idea. Tell
to the boss to get started. During the morning, Kareem found himself watching Samira more than usual.
When she
submitted a report on real estate projects, he noticed that her analysis was deeper than the ones he received from consultants with master's degrees from top universities. When she resolved the conflict between the staff, service and administration, she did so with a diplomacy that he admired. At 2 a.m., when it is usually Samira went out to lunch alone in some economical place near the office, Kareem made an impulsive decision.
Samira, let's have lunch together.
I need to discuss some details of the score. She looked up, surprised.
You sure? Can I stay here and order something? No, let's go to the restaurant. I know.
One quiet place where we can talk.
20 minutes later, they were sitting in a feast and over water restaurant in the Mina Asalam.
It wasn't the type of place where Kareem usually took important clients, but it wasn't intimidating to anyone either.
Like Samira. Have you decided on the ablu yet? Asked Kareem after they ordered.
Samira played with her
napkin, clearly nervous. Yes, I agree, but on one condition. What? Let me pay for my dress. I can buy something beautiful in some store of the mall. I don't need to. Nothing very expensive. Karim felt a strange prick.
The idea that Samira would spend her salary on the dress to accompany him bothered him. The dress is paid for by the company, as I said yesterday.
Amir Kareem. Kareem interrupted him outside the office. Call me Kareem. Kareem, she repeated.
And the name sounded different in her voice.
I don't want you to think that I agreed because of free dress. Then why did you agree? Samira took a sip of water before answering. Because I understand that you see in me something more than a servant. And it means a lot to me. Her honesty is completely his. Ruined. Kareem knew women who would say anything to get what they wanted.
But Samira was direct, without fake filters. Tell me about your family, Kareem said, changing the subject.
You mentioned that you support your mother and brother. Eyes.
The Samirs beamed as she spoke of her family. My mother Amina worked all her life cleaning houses.
She fell ill 3
years ago with diabetes and can no longer work. My brother Rashid, he is 19 years old, he is studying engineering at the university.
Sharjah.
And your father left when I was 14 years old. He spoke about the Samirs without bitterness, as if
it was just a fact. He said that he could no longer cope with responsibility. Since then, I've been keeping house.
Kareem thought of his own family.
His father, Sultan Ammar, was always present, but demanding. His
mother, who died when he was 12 years old, his grandparents, who adored him. He never had to worry about money, food, or the future.
You've never thought about finding a better job. With your diploma, you could work in any large company. Samira smiled sadly. Well-paying jobs require connections. Which I don't have.
Besides, you're a good boss.
Not everyone respects the work of their employees as much as you do. Do you really think so?
Of course. I worked in other places where the bosses didn't even know my name. You listen to me, you value my opinions.
You treat me with respect. This is unusual.
Kareem felt strangely moved.
He never thought about
these things as something special, only as the foundations of a good leader.
And you asked Samir
whether he always wanted to run a family company.
The question took him by surprise. No one ever asked him about it. To be honest, no. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an architect.
I loved designing buildings to represent the space, but my father always made it clear that my place was in Al Rashid Holdings.
You're talking about it. Sorry?
Kareem was seriously considering the question.
Sometimes I feel like I'm living a life that someone else has designed for me. All
planned, work, home, friends from the club, women I should marry.
Do you already have a fiancé? Samarov asked quickly.
Then she blushed.
I'm sorry, it's none of my business.
No, Kareem replied immediately.
But my friends and my father are constantly presenting me with suitable candidates. He did. Gesture in the air, daughters of sheikhs, heiresses, women who studied at European universities and excellent. They speak several languages. That sounds tedious.
That's right, Kareem admitted.
They are all the same. Beautiful, educated, boring. They never have their own opinion about something important.
They were silent for a while, eating for a while. Kareem noted that this was the most honest conversation he had in recent months.
Have you ever been in love? He asked. Samira looked down at her plate. Once 3 years ago, his name was Amar. He worked in a bank. We have been dating since university. What happened? He asked me to marry him, but on the condition that I will stop working. He said that he could keep the house and that I should stay at home taking care of the children. That we will have. And you didn't want to. I told him that I would love to be a mother someday, but I also want to continue to work. My mother and my brother need me. He was very angry. He said that if I really loved him, I would make this sacrifice. Kareem felt a strange anger. To a man he did not know. Do you regret it? No, Samira replied firmly. If he couldn't accept mine obligations in my dreams, so he didn't really know me. True love doesn't have to force you. Choose between happiness and being yourself. Her words remained in Kareem's memory. When they returned to office, he felt